Today I'm making a video on some topics on request. So these are the three I'm going to cover: order of operations, solving equations with exponents, and then solving equations involving the order of operations. So let's begin. Let's start with order of operations. So here's a quick mnemonic device for remembering what the order of operations are. It's please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And the P stands for parentheses. The E stands for exponents, and also actually roots. So square roots, cube roots, and etc. The M stands for multiplication. The D in dear stands for division. A addition, and Sally is subtraction. But this is not to say that this is, you have to do addition first and then subtraction if you see it. That is not the case. These two, and same with multiplication and division, you just have to read left to right and solve as you go along if there are no parentheses involved. Because, again, parentheses are always first. And then exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So let's do a quick example. So say you have, very simple, just 5 plus 6, and then this in the parentheses, and then 4 minus 3 plus 2. So, again, you have to solve out whatever in parentheses first. So 5 plus 6 is 11. That remains in parentheses. Now, for this, although addition is first, or addition is before the Aunt is before Sally, it doesn't really matter. You have to do it from left to right in order of what it appears. So you cannot do 4 minus 5. It's actually 4 minus 3. So you go from left to right. Just as you read, 4 minus 3 is minus 1 and plus 2. And then this is 1 plus 2, not minus 1. And then this is 11 times 3, which is 33. Now had this been a different problem with 5 plus 6, 4 minus 3 plus 2, like that, and there's another set of parentheses here, this minus sign actually carries in. So if you were to, it's kind of like multiplying, it is actually multiplying a negative 1 into here. It's like using the FOIL method. If you have a negative 1, 3 plus 2, what happens is become minus 3 minus 2. That's what happens. So the same thing will actually happen here. It'll be 11. This is a totally different problem, so you're not going to get the same result as there. And you're going to have 4 minus 3 minus 2, like that. And then you can say that 4 minus 3 is minus 1 minus 2, so it's minus 1 minus 2, and that is minus 3, and you'll actually get negative 33. So that's that. And then for multiplication and division, if we're doing something like, you have 5, let's even do addition in here. 5 plus 7, and then 6 times 5, maybe it's too big, 6 times 2 over, or let's just do it this way, let's do divided by 4. So what you'll have to do first is, again, the parentheses, so it's whatever's in parentheses goes first. Is 12 times 12 divided by 4, right? And then, if you do this out again, you get 144 divided by 4, because again, now this is just 12 times 12. So now you just have to read from left to right, multiplication and division, just whichever one comes first, and then it's just 144 divided by 4, which is let's see, 144 divided by 4, 3, 12 minus 2, there we go, 24, so 36. I should have known that, but there it is. And so that's another example. So let's now go to our next, so order of operations is done. Solving with exponents, that's our next thing to do. So let's work on that. So for solving with exponents, just make some space. For solving with exponents, you have to, basically if you have like an x squared is equal to 25. So what does this exponent mean? This means that it's x times x. This is two things. So if you have, let's say you have, 6 squared. This means that it's 6 times 6, which is 36. This is not 6 times 2. This is not 6 plus 2. This is 6 times 6. This is 36. And if you have 6 cubed, that is 6 times 6 times 6. If you have 6 to the 4th, 6 times 6 times 6 times 6, etc. It keeps going on and on and on. But now if you have, rules for exponents, here's more. If you have, let's take a different number, like 4 squared and then multiplied by 4 cubed. If you're multiplying two expressions with exponents in them and they both have the same base, you have to add the exponents together. So it's 4 to the 5th. You don't multiply. Only time you multiply is when you have an exponent to the power of another exponent. So if you have 4 to the power of 2, then to the power of 4, then you get 4 to the 8th power. But other than that, you never, here you add and this is when you multiply. So there's a clear distinction between the two. You have to keep this in mind. So now if we're doing, if we're using x, right, so if you're doing x cubed and then square root of that, that's just x to the 6th. So if you're to solve, let's just go back to original thing, x squared is equal to 25. To solve these, you actually have to take, when you take the exponent to the other side, the reverse of a square is just the square root. So it's x is equal to the square root of 25, and the square root of 25 is plus or minus 5. So you actually get two solutions in this case, because this works, because x squared, again, is x times x, and we got minus 5 times minus 5, that's equal to 25, and 5 times 5 is also equal to 25. So they're both solutions, and they're both correct. So if we were to combine now exponents with order of operations and make a equation, let's do that next. So you have x plus 4 squared times 11 is equal to 55, right? So now here you can immediately see, now what you can do is you can cancel out the 11 on this side and that, and get a 5 here, because this is just, you're dividing 11 on both sides. If that's not clear, let's just divide by 11 like that, and you get 5, see, 5. And then you get x plus 4 squared. So now what you have to do is you have to take the square root of the other side, and you get x plus 4 is equal to the square root of 5. Again, it could be plus or minus 5, so you have two solutions in this case again. And then you get x is equal to square root of 5 plus 4 or minus square root of 5. Oh, sorry, square root of 5 minus 4 or minus square root of 5 minus 4. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.